Good morning, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. I do have one announcement to make. Unfortunately, some of you have heard as I've been walking around the room. Unfortunately, the Congressman Al Green could not get out of Washington, D.C. last night to make the last flight. So chances are we are not going to see him today, although his aide did say, well, you never know with him, and he may just say, turn the car and get over there really fast. But I think we're going to just have to reschedule him, and they were very, very apologetic and said, let us know when the next event is, and he'll be there. So we're going to work on that, and we'll let you guys know. We do have a bit of a replacement, which I think is equally as good, and I'll get to that in just a minute. So, my name is Sophia Moreau, and I'm this year's president for HPJC, and I am really grateful for all of you to be here. I hope that you enjoy your time together here, get to know people, build relationships, and share your resources. I keep thinking of, do you guys remember Paul Wellstone, the progressive senator from Minnesota? It was almost 23 years ago that his plane crashed. And, you know, I was still relatively young in those days, and it really just kind of broke my heart. But I keep thinking today, as we were putting this event together, one of the lines he said, and he would always say, we all do better when we all do better. And what I love about being in a room with people like all of you is that you are what I like to call the boots on the ground, the people who are in the community, talking to people, helping people, the people who need us most, the people who are often the most marginalized, the most forgotten, the people who don't know what the resources are. So you are all doing really good work out there talking to people. So, I'd like to begin with something we do at HPJC at our regular meetings. We have the wonderful, turn to the next slide. We have the wonderful Eileen Adams here, and she's going to do an opening meditation for us. Yeah, so come on up.
Well, I have to be honest and tell you, the young lady in that picture is probably about 14 or 15 now, maybe even 16. That picture's a while back. I've been involved in Peace Camp for a long time. So, welcome everybody. Like Sophie said, namaste. And if you just kind of relax a minute and take a deep breath. And the meditation today is called Live Our Own Way. May I live this day compassionate of heart, clear in word, gracious in awareness, courageous in thought, and generous in love. Today, I encourage each of us to release anything or anyone that is not for our highest good and does not make you happy, joyous, and complete. Be at peace. And so it is.
Thank you, Eileen. Okay, Egberto, next slide. Obviously, the congressman couldn't be here. What I had asked him to talk about for us is really the importance of community in 2025. That we are all, we know people who are scared, we know people who are anxious, we know that there's a lot of work to be done. You guys know better than almost anybody. So, since he wasn't able to come, I decided to handpick a replacement. We have, as you know, Congressman Green is a long-standing progressive voice here in the city of Houston. And he has that voice on the national stage as well. Well, we also here in Houston have a second person who is a national voice and a progressive voice, and that's our own Egberto Willies, who you may know from Politics Done Right. He is also on our board representing KPTSU Radio, and he is on our executive committee. And if he if I let him, he'll tell you how many times this week I text him and say, do this, do that. He's been really helpful. So I'd like you all to welcome him to come up here and say a few words.
All right, good morning to everybody, and I'm looking at this place and I am like ecstatic because of all the different groups that we have in here. It looks great. This is who we are as HPJC. It's been stewarded for such a long time with so many people. So thank you very much. Before I start though, I want to say, Eileen, where is my vegan chocolate cake? I see all kinds of people out there, and I don't see a vegan chocolate cake. That's the reason, and a good reason to join HPJC is that vegan chocolate cake that it's absolutely the best. Now, in all the texting that I did between Sophia, she kept on saying, do this, do that, to which I said, your wish is my command. But there's one thing I didn't do. She said, prepare something for, because, when if there's an issue, we need you to do something. And then I said, okay, but I did because I knew that you had so many people that were coming here. I wanted to sit down there and talk to all these people, and I can tell you, wow, there's a whole lot of organizations doing a whole lot of great things. Thank you for what you're doing. But one thing that I came up with is the following. Al Green is a great representative. I interviewed him several different times. But the one time I wanted to interview him, I couldn't, and that was today. Because I wanted to talk about what he did when he held up that cane and said, in effect, you remember that guy that It's great to see somebody lift that cane up and say you lied, but actually when you said that it was the truth. And it was wonderful seeing that. The courage that it took for him to do that, knowing that he wasn't necessarily going to have a party behind him that acted accordingly. I remember watching that thing and saying, wait a minute, I hope that as they marched him out of that room, that every single rank and file Democrat would stand up behind him and walk out with him to make a statement. Because we are not in common times here. I am a naturalized United States citizen from Panama. And I can tell you one thing, I have on my passport that says Panama as a city of birth. I am actually scared to leave this country to go home and come back because I don't know. There are several people who have already been stopped as American citizens. So these are not real times, neither for immigrants. It's not real times for women. It's not real time for gender issues. It's not real time for any of these things. And watching what we have here and what our brother, Representative Al Green, is fighting for is so important. I really wanted him to be here to tell that story because he lived a life of courage before any of us could have. Again, he's a lot older than most of us, but he lived a life and he saw what it looked like. And we would have hoped to hear and make comparisons with what we're seeing today. So one of the things that I want to say is thank you very much for coming out here. Thank you very much for all the work that you do. Thank you very much for staying in touch. I want to give some kudos to our past president, Bill Crozier, who has guided us for youth president, Sophia, where's Jeff?
Jeff, I saw Jeff.
And Jeff, where are you hiding behind here, Jeff? Jeff and I go back to you didn't even come and say hi, brother. Man, okay. I got you, bro. Got you. But anyway, and now a very big special thank you to Sophia Moral. Let me tell you something. Every organization needs rebirth. And all of us are here to support you. And thank you so kindly for all that you have accomplished in bringing us back and doing this is a lot of work. This is a lot of work to get all these people together. And I watch the emails, sometimes I don't answer, sorry. I watch the emails, etc. And the amount of work that she has done to put this stuff together has been immense. And her supportive cast has been immense. So thank you so kindly. And the brother here, we aren't seeing him here, but you know what Sophia told me? She said we have first tips on him the next time. So the next time you hear from HPJC that we say Al Green is coming, make sure and show up. Thank you so kindly. Gracias.
Thank you, Egberto, really. He didn't mention my emails are quite long. But they are detailed and have everything you need to know. If I can get on my soapbox here for just a minute. On election day last November, I ended up turning off the news around 4 in the morning. I haven't turned it back on. I went into this kind of a hibernation for a while. Now, my day job is teaching political science, so I sort of have to watch the news because, you know, when you teach about government, you start the class in the morning. By the end of the class, the rules have changed, right? I mean, it changes that often, so following the news has always been important. So replacing mainstream media, what I've done is I've gone to some independent streaming medias, and Egberto, you're one of those, and I would encourage you to, if you can't follow him on the radio, follow him on Substack, follow him on Instagram, sign up for his newsletter. You're going to get some good news, some great interviews. There's a lot of them out there. So just a little advice from one political scientist to others, you know, on how to keep your sanity and still get good information. Okay. So we have a few speakers for you here today, a few different kinds of people are going to come talk to you, and some may be coming and going as we go. So we're just going to do the people that are here. I want to first introduce you to a woman, those two more, skip the lawyer for a minute. Okay. So one of the great things about being in this position this year is I've been able to meet a lot of interesting people, a lot of people doing good work. And I met this woman, Anila Kinghorn, at an event that Joe Prokrasky did, right, on Gaza. And I hope we're building a friendship. I love this. And I just, you know, she said, I'm coming. I said, great. You want to speak? You want to read a poem? You want to sing? She told me she didn't want to sing. She would save us from that. But, you know, we are all, I think almost everyone in this room is really focused on local needs that we have in the local community. But even when we talk about our local need for justice, our local need to build that world of peace through nonviolence, there's a whole world of people that also will be impacted by the things that we do within our local communities. You can change the world by changing your local community. And one of the most marginalized and most misunderstood group of people in the world, and believe me, there are a lot, is what has happened to the Palestinian people. You know, it was 77 years ago that the Nakba happened. Nakba is an Arabic word which means catastrophe. And it was, as a result, about 75% of the Palestinian population living in their ancient homeland was displaced from their homes, dispossessed of their items. And really, before that event, Palestine was a multicultural, multi-ethnic, peaceful land where Jews and Christians and Muslims lived together. And we've been struggling in that. I say the world has watched it struggle, and we've been struggling in that area for a long time. You hear a lot. I met people who first heard about the situation with Palestinians just last October 2003, when the attack on Israel happened. And I was kind of surprised that people weren't more aware of that. So one of the things that I wanted to do was to ask her to kind of come up and talk a little bit. She is with the Houston Interfaith for Ceasefire Coalition. So I'll shut up there and I'll let you come on in, because I can keep talking about this forever. So.
Hi, is this good?
Yeah.
And my name is Nadifa. And thank you for having me, Sophia. I'm really happy to be among you. So yesterday I got an email from Trinity Episcopal Church where I belong, because I get weekly emails, just updates. And there was a quote by a German theologian and pastor by the name of Dietrich Bonhoeffer. I wasn't familiar with him. I read up a lot about him. He was executed by the Nazis for his protest against the horror of Germany. So the quote goes, "Silence in the face of evil is itself evil. God will not find us guiltless." And I thought to myself, this is why we're all here, because none of us are silent. For whatever our cause is, being silent is being complicit, being silent is accepting. And I can't accept what's happening. And every single one of you is not accepting whatever cause you're fighting for. So thank you. Thank you for this unity that we feel here together. As Sophia said, I am of Palestinian origin. Actually, I am the daughter of Palestinians who led the Nakba. And if one good thing has come out of atrocities in the last year and a half, it is the recognition and its knowledge. It's a big lesson about who the Palestinians are, the fact that we exist. People now know our story, they know our history. And the Nakba happened in 1948. With the creation of the State of Israel, you had the destruction of Palestine. As she said so beautifully, Palestine, and you've heard this, from the river to the sea, was a multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-religious, loving community. For my parents, it was heaven on earth. But once they fled, along with 750,000 people, they were never to come back. And they left homes, and they left businesses, and they left buildings, and they were never allowed back in. So there is a recognition, if something good has come out of this horror of the last year and a half, of who we are and what we stand for. And nowadays, when you say Palestine, you really say resistance. Because the world has seen that they have a resistance like no other. They are hit time and time again, and they get up and they survive. And we were talking about the fourth generation now, which feels just as strongly as the first generation 70 some odd years ago. And that is why you can silence and you can kill, but you will not stop. You will not take away this resistance, and you will not stop a global movement. We now have a global movement. Thank you. It's easy, and it's come at a big cost. And I will tell you, there are days when I get up and I just don't know how I'm going to make a difference. This little spot on the map that is me. How can I make a difference? But the alternative is not something I can live with. So I became involved with this issue 40 years ago in my 20s, and I saw the friends who from those days are still active. None of us have seen what we're witnessing today. None of us ever thought we would witness a genocide and ethnic cleansing. That is a horror beyond our imagination. Yes, what happened October 7, 23 was wrong. And yes, maybe there should have been some action to say, no, that is wrong, and maybe set the message and try to resolve that. But the genocide and ethnic cleansing has gone way too far, and I wish that the Associated Press would stop saying 46,000. They've been quoting 46,000 dead for the last year and a half. The Lancet, 6 months ago, came out with 186,000. And your program here 3 weeks ago told us that scientifically we are into the 300,000 plus of people murdered. You cannot count what's under the rubble. You cannot count those who have fled and died along the way. And if you're only counting those that can be properly identified, then that is a fraction of the total. So why should we care? Why should all of us care? Because we are complicit. Because our government is complicit. Because it is your tax dollars and my tax dollars. And we just authorized another $8.8 billion for 2,000-pound bombs. Those are not targeted to kill Hamas. Those obliterate a wide area. There have been countless UN organizations, food organizations, health organizations that have spoken out, but we just can't seem to stop the slaughter, which has turned into a land grab, which has turned into some horror that we're witnessing. But again, there is a digital history and that cannot be denied. And going forward, I am hoping this generation, we're working, just setting the path for your generation to continue to work. Because I take so much soul feeding from watching young people, their resilience and their just unstoppable energy. And every opportunity I thank them, whether I pop into a bookstore and thank them for carrying the book, or I see young musicians wearing the graffiti at the airport in Dallas. Thank you all for whatever part you do. I'm involved with Houston Interfaith for Ceasefire, which grew out of my involvement with Churches for Middle East Peace, which has been around for 40 years. And we are a multi-ethnic group. I will say this, today versus my involvement 40 years ago, it's not just Arabs and Palestinians. It is people of every color, every shape, every size, every interest. And they have all joined us, and I thank every single one of them. I'd like to end with a poem by a Palestinian poet and educator by the name of Rifat Al-Arib. He was targeted by Israel. He was killed in December of 23. And by April of 24, they had killed his entire family. Because educators are a voice that is not to be tolerated. Actually, there are 2 poems. One will make you cry, so I'll read the other one. The title of his book is, which was written and published posthumously, is If I Must Die. And the poem, there is a poem also, If I Must Die. That's not the one I'm going to read. The reading is, I am you. 2 steps, 1, 2. Look in the mirror. The horror. The butt of your M16 on my cheekbone. The yellow patch it left. The bullet-shaped scar expanding like a swastika, snaking across my face. The heartache flowing out of my eyes dripping, out of my nostrils piercing, my ears flooding the place, like it did you 7 years ago or so. I am just you. I am your past haunting. I am your past haunting your present and your future. Strive like you did. I fight like you did. I resist like you resisted. And for a moment, I take your tenacity as a model, where you're not holding the barrel of the gun between my bleeding eyes. 1, 2, the very same gun, the very same bullet that killed your mother and killed your dad is being used against me by you. Mark this bullet and mark it in your gun. If you will sniff it, it has your and my blood. It has my present and your past. It has my present. It has your future. Edward Said said one thing, even though we're all Semitic Arabs and Jews. The Palestinians are paying for the world's anti-Semitism. And I think that this point really wraps it up. And I'm hoping for a better future. Thank you all.
Announcement tomorrow at 12 o'clock at the Bay Area Unity Church. We'll be repeating the program she was talking to you about with Susan O'Hala speaking about, it's our conversation with Oxford Student Union, where she goes on for 18 minutes discussing what's happening in Gaza. And you're all welcome to come, lunch and dessert at noon. And the poem that she did by Rafat Al-Riyad is carved in clay blocks at KPFT radio station. It's, if I must find, it's a picture of the kite. Go look at that. Thank you.
So as you can see from the photo next, we do have another icon in the room with us. Yes, please give it up for Deloitte Parker. It's been 55 years? 56? 56 in June, years that the Shape Center has been a gathering place and providing vital programs for the community. I think of the Shape Center not only as the heart of the community, but they stand every day in the face of injustice and welcome all people in and serve as a role model for the rest of us trying to just do good work and make good trouble. And I think most of you know that the Shape Center's building on Live Oak suffered a very devastating fire, and they are going to rebuild, and they are in a fundraiser for that. So I asked Lloyd if he would come and talk a little bit about Shape Center and whatever else he wants to talk about.
I want to take this moment to talk about shape, talk about homelessness, which is inclusive of shape. Repeat after me, okay? I am. Because we are. We are. Therefore I am. There's no me. Without you. And there's no you. Without me. We all part of the family. Of interdependence. Simply meaning that we need each other. And until we come to grips with that reality, we all will suffer to the same degree. We all need each other. We call it the circle of interdependence. For the last 56 years now, I've served as executive director of Shape Center. But I know that I will conclude this point that Shape is a collective. It's not Deloitte. It's not Ms. Dimmer, who is an activist in our movement. It's all of us combined, working together. And I have to share that with you because for years and years we've been protesting and demonstrating against injustice. And I saw you used to peace and justice. I said, there's no justice, there can be no peace. There can be no peace if there's no justice. And injustice creates a whole lot of stuff here. And right now, when I thought about it, I said, well, we got almost 56 years at Shape Center, from the Clarence Bradley case, to the Ida Delaney case, the anti-apartheid movement, many movements that we worked and we fought and we struggled over the years for justice, and we're still here. I think we're still here. You see, I think it's important to note that I have protested, I've demonstrated, but one thing that I come to grips with, protest void of a program is a joke. You can protest until you change colors, but you don't have a program that follows it up. We blow it in the wind. So we need to, all of us need to. We can raise hell, we can protest, we can demonstrate, but coming from that needs to be a program. But Shape Center is a program. The children are taught. We go to Freedom Tour every year, we tracing the civil rights movement. We march when Winnie Mandela, when South Africa, the anti-apartheid movement, we were there helping to end apartheid. We've been out here for a long time now. But we know that you can protest, you can demonstrate, you can raise all kind of cane. But if you don't follow a program, a meaningful program, we wasted our time. So what we're doing at Shape Center with the death penalty abolition movement meets there on a regular basis. Grieving mothers meet there on a regular basis. Brothers and sisters who've been struggling with drug addiction, they meet every week at Shape Center. Then of course we have those people, grieving mothers who lost their children or their child due to gun violence. Gun violence that came out of a situation that caused havoc in that family. My point, y'all, is that I don't have a speech, I just have a message. And the message is that if you're not involved in a program that makes a difference, you're not involved in an organization that fights and struggles for change, positive change, and be blowing in the wind. We got to find our role in the place, in the part that we can play, the role that we can play. No one person can do everything, but if each one of us would do something, guess what? Everything will get done. I heard Ada Edwards say that a long time ago. Those of you who remember Ada, she was an activist in our community. That was her famous words. Right, Gloria? No one person would do everything, but if each one of us would do something, everything would get done. So we'd like you to join us in our efforts to make sure that justice prevails. When I thought about Ali Delaney and Marvin Gillum and Clara Brandon, when I thought about Nelson Mandela, when I thought about all the things that we fought and struggled to help make certain that justice prevailed, we always had a program, y'all. We always had a program. Gloria, when you meet every month at Shape Center for Death Penalty Abolition Movement, we always say that when you can talk about the death penalty, you can talk about the things that we've been fighting to end, but if you're not doing something to change it, you blow it in the wind. Brothers and sisters, I'm not going to take up any more of your time, but I want you to know this. Shape Center, we had a massive fire at Shape. All the pictures you used to see on the wall, all the things, but everything was destroyed. The fight and the struggle for justice is still there. We're not closed down. We just shifted gears. We located at 3903 Alabama, Alameda, right down the street from here. So we just moved to that facility. But you know what? The children can't be there right now because we have to have programs in the building has to be designed for child care. And so we have to go through 2 acts of Congress to get it ready for that. So we ask you to keep us in your prayers, in your thoughts, and of course, more than anything, in your programs and your actions to make sure that Shape Center is restored. Again, we haven't stopped. We're just changing how we do what we do so we can continue to do what we need to do. So, I'm finished. Okay? This is a meeting taking place right now, so we can continue programmatically doing what we need to do. And thank you very much for this opportunity. All right? Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Joy. All right, so our next guest is going to be Nikki Llewellyn, who I think some of you know. Nikki is an artist and an advocate for human rights, a filmmaker. I saw her come in, there she is, walking around. Nikki, are you ready to come now? Okay. She's got a bit of a performance with her, and then after her mom Joyce is with her, and she's going to share something with us too.
Everyone, I'll be doing the poem, Don't Let Justice Die. I wrote this poem a while back, actually at one of the protests, and we were protesting about mass incarceration, issues of police brutality. So I hope you enjoy this poem, Don't Let Justice Die, and after my mom will be giving her poem as well. Racist bastards look for a father and they find him in Trump. So afraid of colored people that they flaunt their gun. March with torches, commit violence, and in truth they run. They hate the light and fight hard to try and block the sun. Meanwhile, black and brown struggle in a cold world, locked up in cages, even little boys and girls. Wrong come to go back home, how about we lock you up? or kill you on live TV and still cover it up. As she covered him in dirt, she fell to her knees. A black person is murdered by police every week. Still no justice for Breonna as a coon protects his green and betrayed his own people. Cause ain't no loyalty in greed. And the thieves of justice sit high and smile down. Just tell us they care to keep the people's voices down. And as the people cry out, their hearts refuse to weep. They deplore more boys in blue, hope replace white sheets. Vincent Young, Sandra Bland, both hung in Texas jails. Then the system tells us that they just upped and killed themselves. See, white supremacists rule here, and their conviction is often fiction. Our blood drenches this land, so it's time we pay attention and speak up, fight back, whatever tool we can use. By any means necessary, we have to stop this abuse. We must refuse to be a tool for government atrocity. Just remember that silence means complicity. So reject mediocrity and don't let them lie. Speak up, fight back, because we can't let justice die. So reject mediocrity and don't let them lie. Speak up, fight back. Because it's literally for the sake of our lives. Thank you.
All right, thank you all. Y'all know I'm Joyce. She blew me away with the poem, so yeah. Oh, wow. This is an original poem written by me. I named it Tired of Shutting the Door. So here it goes. I'm tired of shutting the door on what I know. Trying to take back control of all that has been taken from me, our people, our life. I ask myself, who am I? Our identity was stolen, taken away. They stripped us and shelved us, but we are still here. Our black kings and queens fighting for success and nothing less. We came from royalty. Our children get so excited watching fireworks flying, bursting into the sky while we celebrate a big life. It's a shame how we have to play their game. Frederick Douglass once said, what does a slave have to do with the 4th of July? You value Buffalo no more. This America ain't right. It's full of racist, hate, all types of disease and pandemic, monkeypox, and sold-out cops. I remember when America was beautiful though, but that was back when. I didn't know until I opened up the door on what I know. It's never been great, always too late. Got us wondering how to escape the disease and pandemic, trying to stay clean because of COVID-19, fighting day and night just to hold on to life. You bound Buffalo. God has enrolled his angels, and that's more precious than gold. Take a good look at this America. How many have died because of the politician lies? They don't care that your child died. They just want to hold up their lives. The American dream ain't what it seems. You value Buffalo. What a low blow. So let's open up these doors on what we know. Thank you.
I was running the family there. Okay, Savannah, could you come up here and introduce our next?
Yes. Good afternoon. My name is Savannah Elliott Pearson, founder and executive director of Be Fight for Justice. Today, I get the privilege of introducing my husband. He is a Christian hip hop artist, goes by the name of Pasquale, and I just really want to take a minute to really esteem my husband. He'll tell his story. You know, he's his own narrator in life, but I just want to uplift him as someone who found life in a really dark place, and who has a privilege now to speak about how God raised him from that place and has elevated him in a way that's allowing him to tell other people about what God has done for him while he was incarcerated. And I hope that you enjoy his music, his ministry, but most of all, that his testimony touches your heart. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Pasquale.
How y'all doing?
Great.
First of all, I want to say it's an honor and a privilege to be here. And I really am happy and honored. My testimony is very long, but if y'all want to see the testimony, the whole hour and a half is on Worthy People Podcast on YouTube. So I did 21 years in prison, and I've been out 27 months. I went to a Christian halfway house, Spring Branch, called Charm Ministries. And I had a GPS monitor on my leg for 9 months. When that GPS monitor came out my leg, the Lord started using me mightily. So really, he done work in my life real fast. I'll say my 15 months. But I don't want to take up too much time, but I just want to say if y'all have any loved ones that's incarcerated, don't give up on them. If they write you, they talking about God, don't give up on them. Don't say it when you just talk, because God changed me. I was on parole, and I caught 12 robberies. And I ended up with a 35-year sentence. I thought my life was over. At the age of 27, I went to prison. And when I got out, by the grace of God, God showed me what he had for me to do, and it's one of the things. God called me to rap for him is because my words are clear. A 2 or 3-year-old baby can understand it, and an elder. And so when I see everybody in this room today, I really feel honored by God to be able to do this. I don't have to do this, I get to do this. And I just pray that the music will touch y'all. And I'm one of the ones who represent for the kingdom of heaven Christian music. Come on, brother, I'm ready.
All right.
Dear beloved, find poor and needy, preserve my life, I am whole. I can't get a business. Never trust me, be merciful unto me, Lord. Find Christ in the day. Rejoice the soul of your servant, for unto you I lift up my soul. For you are ready to forgive and abound with mercy and truth upon all those who call upon you. Give ear to my prayer, attend to my supplication. The lips of a righteous man is full of life. Nicodemus and Christ, I can be born again, should be born twice. But Lord, like Moses, I want to praise like Joseph. The blessing of the Lord make it rich, my cup running over. Explain the keys and explosives. Drink mine with hypnosis. I used to sip purple potions with the right amount of doses. But now I drink from the true line, bring it close, put the truth in motion, bring it hope to the hope. Lord promises bring hope for tomorrow. Like the God in the battle, bring it joy to sorrow. King Jesus, I'm a follow. The word is alive, sharper than the two-edged sword, dividing the trunk from Malcolm. Help us, Jesus, help the keepers away from all these haters and all diseases. And all these people with this pistol squeeze, running up in churches and schools like it's open seats. And now hypocrisy with disbelieving. Give me my Bible and my scriptures, Lord, I make a believe. Please let them in heaven gates, cause Jesus died on the cross. I know it ain't too late, and please have mercy for the last time. You forgave the world in Christ for their past crime. Lord, please let them in heaven gates, cause Jesus died on the cross. I know it ain't too late. Jesus, I love your blessings. I love your presence. You so deep in my heart, Jesus. I love your essence. Help your people to realize in your eyes they're precious. Ain't Christ Jesus alone. All the riches and treasures that we stand firm for test. Let you more than I live. Baptize the whole world with the Holy Ghost without that. Ministry mountains. We don't need no lights and cues. And this is God that formed life and formed the Holy Ghost. Hallelujah. PTSD. We going in the prisons. Behind prison fences. Keep your God against all business. Y'all better pay attention. You boys Jesus died on the cross, I know it ain't too late. And please have mercy for the last time. You forgave the world in Christ for their past crimes. God bless y'all.
Hi, I'm Cheryl Crozier. I help with logistics for Peace Camp. And Peace Camp is one of those programs that the Lord is talking about. That's what we need to follow up, to bolster our way through injustices. It encourages compassion, service, critical thinking, inclusion, equality, creativity, and much more. And we do it through activities which are age appropriate, including music, arts and crafts, games, dancing, our movement, discussions, service projects, storytelling, and guest speakers. One of our most beloved guest speakers is Cherry Cycle. She's right up there. Peace Camp is not religious, although many churches have hosted this, and we explore our common humanity. We sometimes draw on church cultural activities and religious traditions from throughout the world so that we can encourage our common humanity. How many people here have helped with Peace Camp? Thank you. As far as I know, Peace Camp has been held every year since about the year 2000, except for 2020 when COVID shut us down. And it was started by the Houston chapter of the Women's International League for Peace and Freedom. One of that organization's members had been to a national convention for WILPF, and she brought back a copy of a guidelines and a book about Peace Camp. The chapter jumped right into the work and started Peace Camps. WILPF was a HPJC member organization, and HPJC started helping with the day camps, and then when WILP membership dwindled because they were kind of great at it, like you now. HPJC began to sponsor the program. It's a week-long camp for children 6 years old to 12th grade. There are separate sessions for the 6-year-olds to the 6th grade, and then we have sessions for teens. We try to have multiple sessions each summer, and one time we had about 5 sessions, and it was very hectic. So we just need more people to help organize those. Also, we try to have the sessions in different parts of Houston. It's pretty hard because we don't pay anything for our venues. Our venues always host us for free, and that's not possible for a lot of the places. Camp registration is $200 for the little kids and then $100 for the teens. But these are lower than most week-long sessions for summer programs. But we offer many, many scholarships, and we have never, ever, ever turned anybody away because they can't pay. So they just have to tell us they can't pay, that's it. So this summer, our first camp sessions are at Unity Church, which is over the southwest part of town. Its date is June 9th through 13th. We have not nailed down the other dates, but we probably will be doing that pretty soon, hopefully within the next week. And we, at the Unity Church, we'll have both younger camper session and a teen session. They'll be going on at the same time, but that facility is big enough so that we can have different programs going on. We don't have those dates yet, as I said, for the younger 3 sessions. And online registration will be available soon, but in the meantime, we have a login, link on the Peace Camp Houston.org where you can get on the list so that we will notify you right away when registration is out and ready to go. And also I have some little cards if you want that has a QR code on it, so you can go to that same link. I'd love to talk to everybody about Peace Camp after we start mingling again, and also Eileen Adams, who gave our meditation, is here too. She knows a lot about it, and she'll love to talk about it. She is our meditation leader, our nurse, and she makes sure the kids get wonderful snacks. So, yeah. Oh, and Cherry's a great guest speaker, and she comes up with some of the most wonderful things. So that's it for now, and if you have kids or if you know of kids that would like to go to Peace Camp, sign them up soon. And don't forget, we have lots of scholarships. And also, if you want to donate to Peace Camp, that'd be great too. So thank you.
And if you want to teach or volunteer or whatever you want to do, there's a lot of space for everybody. If you give us just a few more minutes, we're going to take a little break and let you mingle in just a minute. I'd like to ask, I don't know, is Elizabeth here from Sunrise Bay? Maybe you need to come out then. If we could have Death or Angels, one of you at least come up here again. Somebody, hey, you want to come up here for we the 3? You guys come on up here. I just want to do Kimberly of church, did she come in while I was going to get here? Is that you, Kimberly? Come here too. She doesn't know this, but I'm going to call her up here anyway. So, we are an organization of individuals and families and just people in the community who want to do good work using the tools of peace and justice. And I just wanted to take the last couple of minutes here before we break and to introduce our newest members to you. That's why I saw you did this. I saw it, I think they in my email, so that's why I know. Okay, so I'm just gonna let them have 1 minute. 2 minutes? A lot of you now. Okay, I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna do my teacher voice and I'm gonna cut them off. So Faye, why don't you come here and just give us just about a minute. Tell us about Sunrise.
Thank you, and I'm here from Sunrise Movement Houston, but also with HPJC. I brought my son today. He's 11 years old, and he's actually doing the table line for Sunrise. Sunrise Movement Houston Hub is a youth leadership organization. There's a national group, and we're one of the many chapters that have sprung up all across the nation. They follow remedial practices, and we consider our kids all the way up to age 35, because what we need is a generation of young people who are learning how to speak up to power earlier, who know how to attend meetings where all the halls of power. They know how to run for office, and want more people to be able to affect their future before all the decisions are made for them by older people. So they follow the New Deal, and they are often people training to become engineers. And when they come out of school, they don't want to work for a company that is destroying what they consider to be the most important resource of our, the planet. So they want to be able to come out and have a job that aligns with their moral values. And so they're looking for radically changing the economic system, remaking the city into a walkable and bikeable city for all the humans that live here. Thank you very much.
I'm Danny with the Texas Death Row Angels. Linda Snyder is right over there. We're also with the prison show. Ray Hill dubbed us the Death Row Angels. But through the years, Linda and I not only help Death Row, the women and the men, by, as everyone knows, people who have capital don't get capital. Elon Musk's family is not in prison. So Linda and I make a point of helping with visits. We pick up family members and we drive them to prisons around South Texas, East Texas. We drive everywhere to ensure that the men and women incarcerated have someone who loves them. And that alone helps with their rehabilitation, because we know TDC does not rehabilitate on their own. We also provide, when we visit, we provide snacks for them. Most of the men and the women say that the food that they have fill a styrofoam cup about this much. That's what they have to eat, combined with the beans, the whatever meat product is in there. When you have a grown man eating that 3 times a day, that's not nutrition. Linda and I try to pick up where other people have left off. People can't afford to help their families. They can't afford to help their friends. So Linda and I, through the Death Row Angels, have been assisting them. We also have a cremation fund for those executed, because again, those with capital don't get capital. So we have a cremation fund that allows the people that are inevitably executed because of the laws, we help them be cremated and join with their families or be sprinkled wherever they choose. We appreciate any donations you may be able to give, because it's just Linda and I, and it gets hard, but we're doing this out of love. And we love each and every one of them, and we want a better start for them. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Kimberly Church, and I'm the regional director for a local nonprofit called the Social Justice Learning Institute. And our mission is to improve the education, health, and well-being of youth and communities of color. And so I saw today, I got an email that said the Houston Peace Justice Center. I wanted to know more about it. I'm glad I'm here. We want to teach our young people to take care of their communities, and as it was said here many times, it's very important to be in community and to that we're all there together. So I love the opportunities that the organizations that I've seen here together. I'm happy to be here in community with you guys, and thank you.
Good boy. Hello everyone. My name is Ben. I'm from We the Free Houston. To talk about our mission, I'd like to invite you to reflect on this question. Who do you think are probably the most vulnerable, yet the most mistreated and overlooked in our conversations about peace and justice? It's a non-human animals. Every year we kill 80 billion land animals for food. That's over 150,000 animals every minute. Pigs, smaller than dogs, have their teeth clipped, their tails cut off when they're baby. If they're males, they have their testicle ripped out without being killed. And how do we kill them? 90% of them are oil and gas chambers. when they're barely 6 months old. Baby milk chicks are ground up alive simply because they cannot lay eggs and make profit for the egg industry. Mother cows forcibly impregnate only to have her baby taken away. The milk taken, they breed. What I want you to know about these horrors is that they are only symptoms of a deeper disease. And the disease is the objectification of others. This is when we see someone as something. History has shown us what happens every time we fail to recognize someone as an individual in their own right. I think Dr. Martin Luther King's words echoed today when he said justice is indivisible. Injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. So imagine a world where our children grow up being taught that even the smallest, weakest, the most different among us, the pigs, the chickens, the cows, the fish, all deserve respect, compassion, and our protection. How could they grow up treating other humans as lesser because of their differences? Until we cure ourselves of the disease, we'll suffer from it. And that's the work that With the Free is helping to build. So I invite you all to take the 3-minute movie challenge, have a respectful conversation about animal rights, and have a free, delicious vegan donut. Thank you.
Organization members will have a seat on our board. We do have representation for individual members as well, which is how I ended up being on the board. So I really would encourage you all to join us and help us decide what direction we want to move into and how we want to bring about that world of peace through bringing justice to every aspect of our community. I want to take a little break. As I said, we've been patient in listening to all of our speakers. Some of you have already eaten. As long as there's still food up there, go back and eat some more. Enjoy yourselves, talk to each other, build relationships, exchange phone numbers, exchange information. And then we will, before we end today, we'll have just an open mic session. If you have announcements or you want to talk about things that you don't think you have a chance to share with people. But I'd like you to first try to do it one-on-one with each other, because that's how we really make connections and make things happen and change, is looking in the eye, shaking hands, and sharing that information. So let's take a little break, get back to the mixing and networking, and I'm gonna come around and I hope I can get to talk to everybody who's here, all right? All right, thank you guys.